Welcome to today's wandering, and it's gonna be a historical one. I'm taking you to visit Fort Amherst. Just like you've seen, I've been walking on the side of it by the high walls, and this is one of the entrances. And to my great surprise, I can see people dressed up. I believe that there's a reenactment day when they reenact various battle bits from various eras. These ones look Napoleonic costumes, but I am not sure. I have filmed one which was very interesting. It was the first time in my life I've ever seen something like it. So if you would be interested to see that, I'll put a link in the description and make sure to check it out. I think finished and are retiring or going to change, I'm not sure. Anyway, I can't wait to begin the exploration, but I'm also curious to see them. There's lots of nooks and crannies everywhere. Oh, and that's a dead end. I'm not sure what this was used for, but I spotted some old cannons here. Let me show them to you. Let's go through the grates, and there we go. Now, if I remember correctly, when I read up on it, I believe there's still about 99 cannons left throughout the fort. A few more here, and as well as some late 19th century artillery shells. They're huge. And different things like anti-aircraft guns. If I remember correctly, during the First World War, Amherst Fort was the first location in the world where these were mounted to defend and protect the dockyard, which is not too far from here. We're going up to the next gate where more cannons welcome us. Now here, I'm just gonna quickly go and show you. There's a cafe which is called, guess what? The Cannon Cafe. And the parking area, and down there is the town of Chatham. Excuse me. We can see a display of cannonballs and another part of the fortification. It is quite large. It spreads over 20 acres. And it is famous in being the most complete Napoleonic fortification in Britain, and also Europe's largest Napoleonic fort. I just spotted a patch of daffodils up there, and it looks really pretty with the flag. There's also a small kids area where they can play whilst the parents have a cup of tea or coffee. And I can see a tunnel there, and I want you to spot that it's chalk cliffs that it's all built on, and obviously it goes under us as well. And here I think it's one of the entries to the tunnels, because as you can imagine, as much as they're on the surface, there's a lot of tunnels going on underneath. I'm gonna tell you about it more later. Oops. Okay, maybe not here. I don't know. I know that I missed the tunnel visit for today, which is the only part you have to pay for. The rest of it is free. More shells, cannonballs, and daffodils. And there we can see the cafe better. Now here I spotted two very interesting shells that I've not seen before, and they're called the mallet mortar shells. They're very large, and there's the other one. and I'm gonna film the description. You can pause and read it. It's very interesting. Point is that though they exist, this was a failed experiment. They never actually got to use them. I decided to come up on this hill so we can see what's up here, and in the meantime I'm going to tell you briefly some info about the fort. Hey light, come back. There. It was named after Colonel William Amherst, who spent most of his time outside the country doing various bits all over, including India and what's now Canada. The fort was constructed in the mid-18th century, in 1756, and as it goes with most constructions, more was done and added to it over the coming years and decades. Its purpose was to protect the southeast, and especially the approaches coming up on the river Medway or on land, to protect the Chatham dockyards, because that happened in the previous century, I think, when the Belgians came up the river and attacked, and this time they were trying to protect themselves from the French invasion. There's so many places to look to, I'm like all over, but there's a cool little passage in there. Let's go see. It's quite narrow and echoey. Woohoo! And I should mind my steps not to slip. I like these kind of things. Okay, it's just taking us to the other side. Just a minute ago we were behind that cannon, and from here we can see a part of Chatham, the old town hall on the left, the pretty building in front of the ugly one, which is now actually a theater. And down there, there's the Sun Pier, from where you can take boats to Southend and other places up on the river Medway. But there's a better view of this when I go further, or higher up rather. I'm gonna show it to you then again. But before I go, let's have a look at what's behind us. You can see the brick constructions going throughout of the fort. You can see the walls are really high. I need to go back down because there's no throughway this way. And then there's another gate you can get into. What else did I want to tell you? Oh yeah, during the Napoleonic Wars they have enlarged and strengthened the fort, and they use mostly convicts and prisoners to do the majority of the work, and that's the time when they built most of the tunnels to have underground stores and shelter and new magazines for the guns and all, and guard rooms and all the things one would need in a fort. I had to include you, you're too pretty. During the constructions they have uncovered Roman and Saxon and even prehistoric remains, but from Roman times they have tiles, bricks, coins depicting various emperors, and also quite a lot of Saxon stuff if I remember correctly. And here is the third gate, and I'm gonna go up this way. and the weather's being funky. Hide and seek sun and clouds and all. A line of cannons. Let's see where they're pointing. Ta-da! Defending the town. And here we have Napoleon. He caused it all. It's because of his wars and threats that this whole fort area was built a long, long time ago. I assume that soldiers were in post here, taking turns. We have some pretty spring flowers and quite a few buck hotels. I'm happy to see those. It's just about the time that they are starting to come out from their winter slumber. Can't wait to see lots and lots of little creatures soon. Okay, we have arrived to a section that's called the Cornwallis Battery, and this is protecting the base of the hill on which the fort sits. And I'm reading on this thingy that the views from here were captured by artists like Turner. He's one of my favorite British painters. Let's go have a look at the view from up there. Whoops. Tom, tom, tom. You're gonna see what I'm gonna see. I have no idea. Okay. A view over Chatham and the beautiful River Medway. It's quite windy today and the light is being funky on me, but hey, I think it changed a lot since Turner was around, but it's still beautiful. Let's see the rest this way. Now I can see some stairs going up, so I'm gonna follow that path. But let's have a look at what's behind those grated doors. Okay, we can't go in. You can see there's a lock on it. But this is the Upper Barrier Expanse magazine. It's the room that held the prepared charges of black powder. And sorry, the little note distracted me. I can see stabs going up, an old boot. So where was I? Yeah, the cartridges were stored in wooden barrels to keep them dry and ready to use. So there used to be double doors here and stuff, but obviously that's all changed. Okay, this is the battery shifting room. To this, you can see that there's a lift sort of contraption there, and this is the where the ammunition shaft was leading directly down to the tunnel system below. It had a pulley system and all that. Obviously it's not as it used to be, but clever. I like it how ingenious people can be when they really want to. And I must include a pretty little daisy. You're gorgeous. Okay, I'm not sure where this leads, but this is how it's fun. Discovering new things. Haha. Let's see. Comes to a little bridge. More lookout points that way. That's the upper part of the fort. We'll go there too. Now I would like to know if there used to be water here, or this is a place where the soldiers could just go up and down. I have no idea. Okay, can't go further that way. And there it says a police box. Interesting. I have no idea what they're doing in there. Can hear some noise, like they're sewing something. Can you hear it? Okay, let's go that way. I can see loads more cannons, different kinds than the one we've seen before. Let's have a look at them more closely. By the way, I just love this contrast of the green and blue and the white fluffy clouds. Isn't it lovely? Okay, here we are. By the look of them, they are probably the oldest type, and there's cannonballs to go with them as well. I'm looking to see if I can find any descriptions. No, there isn't any. I just spotted something else. Up there, from that building onwards, it's something else. I can see unsolved mysteries, life escape room experience. That's probably fun. Now, besides the escape rooms and the reenactments, the fort regularly hosts all sorts of events, from theater performances to concerts and music festivals. Now there's a few different paths I can take, but I want to go this way, which is leading to the Spur Battery. And what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so there's all sorts of events, including things that they organize for children and families. Woohoo! It's echoing. Another side thing. Oh, there's always things that are closed. Okay, let's go back out. So yeah, it's quite an active place with a lot going on. I didn't check what was going on today, and that's why I didn't know that there was actually a reenactment thing happening earlier in the day. Never mind. I have seen a really, really good one. Now up there is a Victorian allotment. Obviously now when I'm filming, it's early spring, so there's not a lot going on yet. I can see some rhubarb already having beautiful leaves. But in 1864 the War Office issued an instruction that Crown land should be set aside in garrisons for soldiers to cultivate and grow vegetables for their own consumption. And here, this experiment was met with great success. And it just started to rain. How lovely. The sun is shining and I'm getting a mini soak-in. This is the mad English weather for you. Anyway, I think this way up, because I have been here before, it's the little amphitheater. Yeah. Now this part is called the Prince William's Barracks, which is now in ruins, but it once provided accommodation for the detachment of artillery that looked after the guns here at Fort Amherst. And I just saw picture of a painting depicting the soldiers' quarters. There we go. They did not live the high life here, that's for sure. And everything is uphill. And look, one more of those funky shells we've seen earlier. Now when I saw the reenactment Then I remember that part of the tents was set up here on that field, and the amphitheater is just down there to the right. And there it is. Let's go around it. It's a nice place to come out. It is visited, but unless there's an event, it's never overcrowded, which I like. Because when I'm filming something to show you, it's always such a pain when you need to avoid people and children and manage the noise and all that. So anyway, I hope you can see. The sun is in my eyes and I'm not actually seeing properly what I'm filming. There's more going all around us, and I'm gonna be walking further and higher up. We are already, I think, more than 2/3 of the hill. Now, because of the sun, I'm repeating myself. I'm not seeing what I'm filming. I just know that through all the gaps in the wall, there's cannons positioned for defense. Must include some spring blooms. Now we can see it better from here. The river Medway, and right in front of me, across it, is Rochester. And I don't know if it's gonna show, but you can see Rochester Cathedral and Rochester Castle as well. And then to the right, the town of Chatham. Now, the fort had fancy artillery and defense systems for a while, but after the battle and victory at Waterloo, as the decades passed by, all these things picked up and accelerated in development, and the fort did not keep up. So it was used mostly as a training ground. They used to practice sieges and all sorts, and it became a popular attraction, and visitors started to come, including Charles Dickens, and he wrote about it in the Pickwick Papers. So if you're curious, go back and revisit that. And I think I am at the highest point at the moment. I'm gonna make my way back and go round where you can see that bit and walk on that path before they lock me in here. It's getting late and I'm not sure what time they close the gates, but I don't want to be locked in here. Now there you can see a beautiful tower-like thing. That is the Chatham Naval Memorial, and it's within the Great Lines Heritage Park, which continues after the fort, and I have filmed a video about that as well. So make sure you check it out. It's quite interesting. I've never seen a memorial like this before, and it's a lovely way to remember and honor those who lost their lives in various wars. Just getting back here. Just spotted this tree covered by beautiful looking lichens. Look at that. More cannons, more walls. During the reenactment I've seen, they shot some of them, as well as old style guns. It was quite something and very, very loud. Now, there's a little bridge over. Let's see. You can see a part of the wall, which is in ruin, but still looks beautiful. And the other side. And more of this There's so many ditches, high and low places. It's quite fascinating. And back to a beautiful viewing spot. Now the fort continued to be in use during the First and the Second World War, and as I said at the beginning, during the First World War this is the first place where the anti-aircraft guns were mounted, and during the Second World War it served as an air raid warning command post. So yeah, it has served its time, and after that kind of it fell into disrepute, sort of. And later in the 70s and 80s, people who were interested, and I think a trust was founded to keep it up, so they tidied it up, and it started to have more and more visitors and events, and it's also a filming location for quite a few movies. I don't remember them except one, which is one of my favorites, Sherlock Holmes, The Game of Shadows. They filmed a part of it here, which is pretty cool. Never realize when you are watching a movie that you will get to see any of the locations where they filmed it. And yeah, as I said, they do a lot of things, and it is a good place to come and visit if you're a history buff, or if you just want to have a lovely day out with your family. I highly recommend it. I think I mentioned that it's free. You only need to pay a fee if you want to do the tunnel visits, which obviously makes sense because it lasts, I think, about an hour and a half, and there's a guide taking you around explaining everything. I'm yet to do that part. If they allow filming, I will make a separate video about that when I'm gonna get around doing it, because I'm pretty sure that's gonna be very, very interesting. And we got to the end of it. The path in front of me is leading to the Great Lions Heritage Park, and to the left at the end of that path is where the memorial is, which I showed you a few minutes ago. Now there's other little sections I've not taken you to, which can be visited, but I think I managed to fit in the important bits of it, and I really hope you enjoy this historical wandering in nature. And if you are not one of my subscribers yet, then please consider to be one. I am trying to do one wandering video a week. Usually I publish it on Thursdays, and it's mostly nature or history focused, and then I have tons of other videos that go out on different days of the week as I find interesting things to see and share. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day, everyone. Bye.